All right, what's up, guys? Aldo here. Welcome back. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and check out the free Discord down below, along with the other links. Want to talk about today some speculation, more long-term speculation on where we could end up, and where price could go, into the end of the year here and into the next halving cycle, and hopefully the next bull run. What I want to talk about is a little bit, I like this Bitcoin rainbow chart. A lot of you guys have probably seen it before, kind of estimates where the top was, back here. We were looking, everybody was saying, we're going up to, let's see, 100K or whatever. Didn't quite get there. They actually changed. What's crazy is they changed this chart because it didn't, to make it look more realistic. I think the max bubble pop was like 300 here or whatever. The colors aren't too useful here. I just like this chart because it shows us where the happenings are. They just change this when it's not right or whatever. But that's okay for our purposes. What I think is going to happen, first of all, here is I think we're going to do a repeat of more. So you see, like 2019, you came up and then obviously you fell off a lot. And then, obviously with the pandemic, you hit a bottom there. And then you started the next bull run. I think it's going to be kind of like this to a certain extent, but more so like this area, kind of like more of a 2015 type deal where right here, I think we're going to, continue, and I'll show you stuff to back it up kind of on the market cipher chart. And obviously, sell in May, walk away, repeating this cycle, coming down there and then coming down there by quite a bit. Let's see, you went down from 400 all the way down to, oh man, why is this not, let's see, Bitcoin price. I'm trying to look at the, oh, it's just kind of sideways. I think it's going to, with diminished returns and all that, I think it's going to go no farther. But yeah, so I think you're going to go down kind of farther. And I think with maybe something at the end of the year, what I think is going to happen here is sometime with the end of the year, we're going to get a bit of a jump, maybe a Santa rally or something, maybe some passing regulation, something of that nature. And what I think is going to happen here is we're going to do something. We're going to come down a good amount. We're probably going to make some type of like double bottom, something of that extent, some double bottom back into the basically fire sale area. I think here at least there is your 400 weekly moving average at around 16K for a double bottom. If you do go below this blue area, the lower side of this blue area, they're just going to move this down or change this or whatever. They probably should move this down quite a bit actually, because this should be in the max bubble territory, but they won't do that. Anyway. But yeah, you come down to these points, and I think you're going to rally up, similar to over here. See, you're going to rally up into the halvening. Like you're going to rally up from November, December into kind of this area, into February. You may get up to, it was a higher high there. You may get up to, I'd say probably at least 30K, maybe even 40K, that kind of area into the halvening. And then I think it's going to be more like 2015 here. You're going to drop down from there and potentially go back into this blue, maybe 20K, maybe 18K again, I don't know, somewhere around there. And that's going to get rid of a lot of the paper hands in kind of mid 2024 after the halvening, a lot of the paper hands. And then later 2024, you're going to see the start of that real good, phase, like here, that real good, bull run phase where you probably pump up to hopefully making a new all-time high, hopefully 100K, 120K, somewhere between hopefully 80K to 120K is a really good sweet spot. I would like to say we're going to go higher than that, but with diminished returns and everything, it doesn't seem like we will, but we'll see. So that's what I'm looking at. And let me kind of back that up right now. Let me put a little bit more sense into this on the market cipher chart. Now, I kind of drew it out here, what I'm looking at. Now, this right here, if we look at the weekly here, the 400 weekly moving average, this is my kind of guess on where we would potentially, we'd come down into, the end of the year, September or something like that. You come down. September is historically a bad month for your stock market. I believe it's historically a bad month for Bitcoin as well. I'd have to look. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I think you're going to come down to there, September, October, hit at least a double bottom or something, maybe if we're lucky, a higher high, 18K, 19K. That's what I'm kind of thinking. And then you get down there, worst case scenario, the 500 weekly moving average is down here. That's at 13K. I don't think you're going to go that low as of now, but obviously anything can happen. That's a big point. The reason these points are so important, like the 400, the 300 weekly moving average, is because price typically bottoms at them. This was the 300 weekly moving average. This was the 200. These two, I believe, are the 200 weekly moving average. We haven't hit one where we bottomed at yet in this cycle. which is pretty interesting. You also have I just want to show you guys the 300 weekly moving average, because that's probably like best case scenario, I think, is like, yeah, you hit kind of 20K again, maybe. 20K is where I think is going to be. Once you hit 20K again, especially with Bitcoin dominance, that's going to pump up by the time you do that. That's going to be a good place to start getting into altcoins, I think. So hit that area, and that's going to be September. You pump in, do some type of Santa rally, something. Pump up until the next halvening, kind of. And that's going to be in March. You get up to high 30s, let's say. I think maybe touch around this area or something. Get a lot of people really excited, and then have a pretty significant drop down, maybe a 40% correction back down to 20K or something, maybe even a 50%, something significant. I'm thinking more of that repeat, 50%, 18K, something bad enough to shake away a lot of people. And then from there, I think you're kind of smooth sailing for, the second half of 2024. And I think that's where the apathy kind of stops. Probably once we get into later 2024, the apathy stops and we get back into it. And then I don't know when you're going to top out. It could be later, end of 2025, mid 2025. I don't know, but something of this nature. And that's where people are really into it. 2025 is the big year. And then obviously after that, 2026 is the bear market. And then you kind of repeat history to a certain extent until the next one. And that's what it seems most likely. And if we could kind of back this up a little bit more, if you look at the 2-week here, in terms of, I just want to estimate, in terms of money flow, you'd probably peak out in the money flow and the deepness of money flow right around here, September, October, and then you're going to come back up, maybe get into the green. You almost get into the green. Maybe you get into the green as we get to this high 35, 40K. Then, I don't know, maybe come back in the red a little bit, and then you really freaking, in mid to late 2025, get high again, like this area, 4-year top. That's what it's really looking like right now. Now, what can we do with this information? I mean, obviously, even if you bought Bitcoin at, say your average entry is going to be 20K, let's say, or 18K, 19K. 500% if we get up to 120,000. Probably not life-changing wealth for most people. I made life-changing wealth investing in, it wasn't even mainly Bitcoin, but I bought, this is why I circled over here, this is mainly where I bought a lot of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Matic, and Cardano. More so Matic, Ethereum, Cardano than Bitcoin, because I was trying to outperform Bitcoin, and it worked out really well. I made a lot of money. And, that's kind of, I got in at kind of the last chance to kind of get in. I got in towards the end of 2020, around August, around kind of this area, August, September 2020, when a lot of people were fearful. A lot of people were saying we'd, go back to 9K, 3K. Some people were saying, and then you just shut up. So I think you're going to see something kind of that nature. To make life-changing wealth, most likely, this isn't financial advice, but most likely you will have to get into, at least ETH for that big those big kind of gains. Now, we look here, and I'll just do this quickly here on the 2-week for ETH. Let's say we get, down to do a double bottom, maybe even a little bit lower, hopefully a little bit lower. We get down to 800, or kind of worst case scenario, I'm seeing like 600 right now, but we'll see. I don't know, obviously. ETH is going to be even harder to predict than Bitcoin. I think with regulation and everything, what could kind of give us a Santa rally towards the end of the year could be passing of regulation, and a lot of money could go into kind of crypto once regulation is passed, which may happen towards the end of the year. What else for all those people waiting 20 years for this to happen? No, not really that long, but XRP. I think XRP, once you have regulation passed towards the end of the year, you're going to have something happen with that lawsuit, and I think when XRP pumps, it's going to pump with a lot of other things, so it's not even really where you're probably better off with some other altcoins than XRP. From my perspective, I'm trying to do the best thing to make the most amount of money. XRP is a high market cap for an altcoin. I mean, I think there's just other things that will outperform it, but you do you know what I mean? So I think that's when you'll see kind of XRP pump and that kind of Santa rally towards the end of the year. And, ETH could coming down September, October, maybe make a lower low. This is going to be kind of the sweet spot for ETH, and that's potentially, some people have been saying 10K, some people say 8K. If we look at our spiral lines here to give us kind of, an estimate of where we could end up, there's a lot at, this pocket, around 8 to 9K, this area. I think once you hit this like crazy line of all these spiral lines, GTFO, in my opinion. That's in my opinion. A 10x, I would take that 10x and run. especially if you have a large position in ETH, I think that's going to be potentially for life-changing wealth in the next bull run. I think, getting up to there, that's my opinion. If we could repeat kind of history here, so if we come down there and then we pump up into the halvening, maybe you pump up back to, I don't know, this area, 18 or something. Then you come back to 1,000, let's say, and then, oh yeah, here we go. You know what I mean? That could be a beautiful trajectory up to maybe even 10,000 or something, maybe even 10,000. That would be a beautiful, beautiful trajectory for ETH. That's kind of a more long-term estimate there. Now, what the other thing I want to show you guys is, which is really important here. I mean, the place to start DCAing into ETH, I'm really looking at the 2-week for one. Once this gets in the red, I think that's going to be a good buying opportunity. But what I'm looking in to get maybe start a little bit early is when this comes into the red, which could be in July, August. Hopefully, this will dump down a good amount before we get into the red. Maybe we're at 13, 12K. Hopefully, I mean, 18K is kind of, 1800 is kind of high for ETH. 1900, excuse me, is kind of high for ETH, guys. I mean, you're not going to get too much, I mean, that's only 400% if we come up to, even 10,000 there. So, I mean, unless you're somebody who thinks it's going up to 20,000 or 30,000 or something crazy like that, I mean, you're not making life-changing wealth with this, unfortunately. Most likely not. But if we come back down and you DCA in over here, that's the perspective. Now, last thing I want to show you guys here in this video is going to be Bitcoin dominance. See how we were in July of 2019, right when the market started to dump down towards the end of the year, we jumped up. You know what I mean? We jumped up another 24%. If we do something like that, hit the golden pocket at 60%. A lot of people are saying it's going to go to 60%, so maybe it won't because of that. Maybe it won't go so high, but I think you could get up at least to this level, 55, and that's going to be a golden opportunity to start DCAing into altcoins, I think. That's what in converting Bitcoin potentially over to altcoins, start DCAing over to altcoins. That's what I think is going to be kind of the golden place. Obviously, I've looked at, you can look at altcoin Bitcoin evaluations, this Cardano Bitcoin. What I'm kind of guessing is you're going to repeat this pattern. Once you come down to kind of this area right here, towards the end of the year, that's the place to DCA and to start converting Bitcoin over to Cardano, start DCAing into Cardano and other altcoins. So I think you got a little bit more to kind of come down here. I mean, obviously, if you were going to buy here and you're a big Cardano fan, let's say it goes back up to this area, still outperformed it by 300% in the next bull run. So still not bad, but the way I'm doing things, I'm waiting a little bit longer. So that's that. Anyway, guys, that's all I got to say right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this more long-term speculative analysis. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, check out the Discord below. If you want to check out the exchanges, FAIRDESK is pretty good if you don't want to use a VPN or require KYC for some trading. Link down below. Do have the free Discord, and then there's also the premium Discord channels within there. You could sign up for the premium ones through Discord, through the free Discord now. It'll show you which channels are blocked off. I just added that option in. You could also pay in crypto, the areas in the announcements one, that's where you got to pay, and then let me know and I'll manually add you in. And then also it is through Patreon. You could pay there as well. So we're always adding it on. It's me and 2 other professional analysts in there that are doing we're providing a lot of stuff in there for you guys. The value is way more than what we charge at $50 a month. I could say that with confidence here. It is a lot of value in there. These guys are good. So check that all out, guys. Really appreciate you guys. I want you to have a great weekend. Goodbye.